Get ready for the Tech Zone. Wednesdays, 3 p.m. Pacific Time Zone. Add the app to your cell phone. Paul Amadeus Lane Zone. With informative interviews and breakthroughs with CEOs and gurus and who's and reviews. Count on Paul to bring y'all the news. Yeah, he done paid dues and never snooze. Refused to lose and stayed humble and still played by the rules. On the scene since 16, Pop's been Paul's gasoline. Spiritual house have to stay clean. Put the kingdom first, y'all know the routine. In the world, the unclean disaster. It's the vaccine, so quarantine. But relive the emphysema epidemic of 1918.
Hello, welcome back. Tech Zone, Paul Amadeus Lane. Digging a new set? Digging a new music? I'm digging you. Yes, I am. Summertime. Always a fun time, even during this pandemic. There are a lot of things that we can do. Our friends at Verizon have some cool tech that you definitely want to get your hands on. Things that can help us out even during this pandemic and beyond. What are they? My next guest is going to tell us what it is. And I'm so happy to have with me now Verizon Tech expert Diana Alvear joining me. Diana, how are you?
Paul, so good to be here. Oh my gosh, I'm so geeked out that I'm your first guest with this new fabulous set. It's really good to be here.
Hey, thank you so much for noticing. This is so cool. That's one thing we always notice when we change things. Nobody notices, but I'm so glad you noticed. Thank you so much. The team gives you applause out there. Thank you so much, Diana. And I'm geeked out too because I am a technophile. I love tech, love gadgets. And the cool thing about it is there is some amazing apps that Verizon has out there that not only can help us out when it comes to health, but other things as well. So what do you want to talk about first, my dear?
All right, Paul. Well, I think the main thing for all of us these days is we're starting to feel really cooped up. Now, we're doing our part. We're trying to stay safe. We're staying within the confines of our own homes as much as possible. But if you can, try to get outdoors and stay safe. And we're going to give you some methods on how you can do exactly that. So first and foremost, Paul, you would never think of leaving your house and hitting the outdoors without your smartphone, right? I mean, this is just common sense that you're going to take your phone with you and make sure that you have it on you in case of emergency or anything like that. But one thing I think that we don't think about often enough is the earbuds or headphones that we have with us. And these days, wire phones are out. Like, we don't want to be using anything that has like dangling cords or anything like that because it's just going to get in the way. I know that for me, when I'm working out outside and I have those things dangling, it's just really annoying. So right now, I am wearing the Google Pixel Buds, and these Google Pixel Buds are the reason why you hear me so clearly and why I hear you so clearly. It's got incredible sound quality. They're not messing with anything. They're not going to bump into anything. I can wear earrings and they still sound great. But if you're outdoors, one of the things that I really like about them is that you get 100-yard range for your Bluetooth. So you don't even have to have your phone in your hand necessarily, and they're still going to work. Plus, they're water and sweat resistant. So get that sweat on, get those endorphins going, and you can still hear your music and feel really good and pumped and finish that run.
And that's one thing I noticed how clear you sound, and that's just coming from the buds right there.
Yeah. I was actually blown away at the quality because I was thinking that there's no way that something this small is going to sound so good. And I also kind of, using the word geeked, I kind of geeked out on the little carrying case. Look, it's like this little space age egg,
so cute.
And then you open it up and then you can charge them in this. So this goes right in your pocket. You don't have to think about it. You don't have all this big bulky stuff. You can just hit the outdoors and go.
Now, Diane, I want to play some 80s like trivia with you, talking about an egg. What old comedy sitcom where a guy came out of an egg and he said nanu nanu? Remember that?
Nanu nanu. Yep. Mork and Mindy. Hello.
There you go. And
huge Robin Williams fan here.
And that egg kind of reminds me of that. That is so cool. And even though I appreciate you not cord shaming me, all these cords that I have, and that's one thing that we're starting to see a lot of people go to are the buds. When I interview folks now, even on national television now, they're going toward these buds, and the technology is incredible with the sound that you're able to get from them. I don't know, Diana, I may have to get me some of them because they look smooth and it sounds good.
Honey, I'm your butt evangelist, okay? So I'm going to try and win you over with my gospel today.
No, I really, really appreciate it. Now, and one thing too, I notice, Diana, Diana, one thing I notice is when we talk about cords and working out and being outside, cords are really unsanitary, to me, because I know,
Hmm.
like, whenever I wear them, they may dip and touch something and all these things, and buds kind of keep us a more sanitized environment, even though we're not medical doctors or experts. But I just wanted to throw those 2 cents there. So please go ahead and continue.
Yeah.
I
Okay. Well,
digress for a little while. I'm sorry.
no, absolutely. You're so right about that because the entire theme of what I'm telling you today is safety. I mean, it's something that we have to keep in mind right now, and it's not just about keeping myself safe. It's about keeping you safe. It's about keeping our kids safe. And on that topic, I wanted to tell you a little bit about this. This is the Gizmo 2 watch. So this is a fun thing because kids notice the kind of tech that you have. Like they see your smartphone, they see all the things that you can do with it, and they want something cool of their own. So this basically looks like they have their own smartwatch, right? It's super cool. It's got like these cool blue bands. And they can also send you messages through it. So they're wearing it, they could be playing outside, and then they could send you something saying, I'm coming back in, or this is where I am. And these days, when so many of us are kind of cooped up and having to work, our kids still want freedom to go outside. I mean, it's summertime. So if they're wearing this is going to give them the freedom that they're craving, and it's going to give you the peace of mind that you need. Not only that, but it's got another really cool feature that me as a parent, I love. So let's say you have an older child, right, that can ride their bike to a friend's house, or maybe they're going to grandma's house or something, and you want them to check in. But kids sometimes forget, right? Because they're kids. So you can geo-fence areas for this watch. So that means that the minute that their bike enters that location, you get pinged on your phone. And that way, even if they forget, you have the peace of mind of knowing that they made it to where they're supposed to be safely. And you're not like all on top of them, being super uncool, not giving them freedom.
I love that because you're absolutely right. I don't have any children, but I have a niece and I have a nephew. And whenever we hang out together, I'm like, hey, where you at? What time are you going to be there? Let me know. And this is really cool. And one thing I like about it, too, is that how Verizon really looked at fashion when they created this, too, because it's sharp. I mean, you can coordinate
Yeah.
with a lot of
Oh, I know.
things. And I just love how simple it looks to you so parents can figure it out, too, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to do a throwback for the 80s, I mean, remember we were all about Swatch watches, and
I
part of
remember
the appeal
those.
was that they had the bright colors and the patterns and stuff. And so for kids, it's like you're wearing something like this and you look sharp, and it doesn't look like a GPS device that your parents are actually using to keep track of you. You just look really cool.
And I guess the thing is, Diana, is that we don't let them know it's a GPS device. We say, hey, I bought you a cool watch, right?
Mhm. Exactly. And Paul, there's another device I want to show you that kind of goes hand in hand with that gizmo too. For those of us that have elderly parents or senior loved ones in our life that we're concerned about, this is called the Care Smartwatch. And see, like it's a really cool looking smartwatch. It's something that would be fun to wear, that looks good, it's stylish. But it's also a really good way of giving the people who are taking care of those loved ones some peace of mind without taking away freedoms from those senior loved ones. But basically, the way it works is that, again, you know where they are at all times. But you can also program this watch to, for example, have the doctor's schedules, right? So if you have a doctor's appointment coming up, this is going to notify you, ping you, remind you that this is coming up. You can also put in medication schedules in there. So sometimes there's that concern, did they remember to take their medication? You don't want them to take it twice. So this is another really great way of making sure that they've taken it. And then, of course, this is always going to link back to your smartphone because you have the matching app, and you can keep track on your phone of everything that's going on. So really just another great way of making sure that your loved ones have the freedom that they crave, while also giving you the peace of mind to know that they're okay. And if they're not okay, that you're the first one to know.
Something tells me that we may have to employ the same strategy we did with the teenagers. Instead of saying, hey, mom and dad or grandma, grandpops, this is something for me to keep track of. It's like, hey, I bought you something. It's pretty cool. Check it out.
You got it. You got it. And on a final note, I just want to point out something really, really cool that I didn't know about until recently. But, we are in a pandemic. We are dealing with concerns about the coronavirus and everything. And we want to stay as safe as possible. So make sure if you're going to download any other app, it's your first aid app. Okay. This is free on Google Play and the Apple App Store, and it's by the American Red Cross. And what you're doing essentially is you're arming yourself with the tools in case of, a minor emergency. What do I do with a bug bite, or what do I do if I get hurt and I'm outdoors? This also has ways to contact emergency services in a variety of languages if you happen to be someplace else that's, not America, and just a lot of really good tips. And as you can see here, that of course they're leading with the coronavirus safety tips for your area. So once again, arm yourself with safety so that you can go out and enjoy the outdoors. And that's what it is about right now. It's like you've got to get outside for peace of mind. You've got to get out there so that you're not cooped up inside, but you need to do it safely. Right, Paul?
I love it. And that app, these devices, what a great time to be alive, to be able to have devices that we can check on our loved ones. And that first aid app is pretty awesome. It can actually run through some things if you run into a situation that can help you out.
Yeah. And I do a woods walk every weekend with my son because he's got to get out of the house. He's got to go explore and get dirty and stuff. And we love it. But knowing that I have that app on my phone, in case something goes wrong, he's a kid. He's going to climb things. He's going to fall. He's going to bump himself. He's going to get a scrape. He might get stung by something. And at least with this app, I know that in the immediate situation, I have some sort of resource I can turn to.
I love it. And Diana, before I let you go, what is the coolest thing about a smartphone that you appreciate personally? What's like the coolest thing? So you work for Verizon, you have the inside scoop. So what is kind of the coolest thing you like?
Honestly, for me, it's this is so embarrassing, but I have a horrible sense of direction, Paul. Like, I'm the kind of person that can drive, I will go to the wrong place and have no idea what I did wrong, right? So I live and die by the maps function and Waze and things like that. And so I'm so grateful every freaking single day that I have a smartphone that allows me to get to where I need to go safely. Because if I were to rely on myself, that would not be good.
It was crazy. I was talking to some of my friends over at Google, and they asked me the same thing. What's like the coolest thing when it comes to assistive and adaptive technology in the smartphone? And I said the same thing. Like I said, just to be able to do a screenshot with my voice. Because before I'd always have to ask my wife or my family member, hey, can you do a screenshot for me? And I'd have to wait till they got home or something. But now I can just say, hey, Google, take a screenshot. And it takes a screenshot. Just the little things, right, Diana?
Yeah. And, one of my best friends that I grew up with, her sister is disabled and has been in a wheelchair her whole life. And let me tell you what a blessing having the internet and smartphones and devices as such and social media has been for her, because it's opened up her world and it enables us to stay in touch and to know how she's doing. And she's part of so many different communities. And so to me, I think that having these kinds of devices and this connection to a bigger world is one of the best things that could have happened to anybody with a disability. We crave freedom, right? And we want freedom. And this is allowing freedom for everybody.
Tell me about it. And really enjoyed everything you had in store for us. Now, how can we find out more information about some of these great devices that we talked about?
All you have to do is go to Verizon.com. I no joke, have been a Verizon customer for 25 years. I was an early Verizon person, and I've never been given a reason to stop being a Verizon customer because I find they have great service. The fact that if you have an unlimited plan that you can automatically have hotspot services, so that's another reason you can get outside and even work outside. So all you need to do is go to Verizon.com. You're going to find out information about all of this and much, much more. And Paul, I've had so much fun with you. You can invite me back anytime.
I was just about to say that. Can you come back and hang with me some more?
Yes!
All right.
Yes, absolutely.
We definitely did. I always enjoyed talking about tech and enjoyed you. Thank you so much. Be safe out there. And a lot of food for thought when it comes to technology, especially technology and safety, what Verizon is doing. I appreciate you and appreciate what you guys are doing at Verizon.
Absolutely. Hugs to you, my friend. Stay safe.
Virtual hugs.
Virtual hugs.
A huge shout out and another virtual hug to my friend Diana Alvear, Verizon Tech expert, giving us the 411 on the cool and awesome tech. that's out there that Verizon has for our enjoyment this summer. All right. When we get back, we're going to talk about ghost kitchen. What is a ghost kitchen? It's not nothing to do with the paranormal or things like that, but it's really a thing that is becoming a reality, especially during this pandemic. Stay tuned. We're going to talk more about that.